Welcome to Basketball U. If you're new to Basketball U, make sure you slam dunk that subscribe button. And just to make sure you don't miss a thing, make sure you tap that notification bell right after you hit that subscribe button. What's up, Basketball U? Glad to see you are back for more role players. Make sure you hit that like button so we can continue to give you all the daily content for your basketball needs. Today, we are going to talk about a player who took the league by storm with his amazing ball handling ability, his flashy passing ability, and not talked about a lot, but his ability to score. He's an NBA champion and made first team all rookie team. Basketball U family, we would like to present Jason Williams. Williams was born in Bell, West Virginia. He attended the now defunct DuPont High School in Bell, where he played high school basketball for the DuPont Panthers in 1994 and led his high school team to the state championship before being defeated in the final. He became the only player in DuPont team history to reach 1,000 points and 500 assists. USA Today named Williams the West Virginia Player of the Year in 1994. Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss was one of Williams' high school basketball teammates. Moss and Williams definitely were a 1-2 punch on the court, and both having some issues in college, their paths almost crossed, as we will tell you about Jason Williams' college experience here shortly. Williams decided on Providence, but once the head coach Rick Barnes left, he changed his mind and went to play for now NBA coach Billy Donovan. The interesting thing about that is Moss chose to go to Notre Dame, but because of some unfortunate events that took place in high school, his application was denied, but his opportunity to go to college was not. Florida State University gave him an opportunity, but he had to redshirt because he was considered a transfer. Because although his application got denied, he did sign a letter of intent to go to Notre Dame. With violation of his probation, Florida State had to dismiss him. That led Randy to stay close to home and cross paths shortly with his high school teammate Jason Williams, who was at Marshall. We wonder if they had discussions about playing basketball together again. What a 1-2 tandem they could have been in college, but before that could happen, Jason played for Coach Billy Donovan's Marshall Thundering Herd men's basketball team from 1994 to 96. After redshirting his first season, he averaged 13.4 points and 6.4 assists per game during his 1995-96 freshman year. When Marshall coach Billy Donovan accepted the head coaching position at the University of Florida in the summer of 1996, Williams decided to transfer and follow Donovan to Florida. After sitting out the 1996-97 season, as required by the NCAA transfer rule, he became the starting point guard for the Florida Gators men's basketball team during the 1997-98 season, and set a Florida Gators single game record with 17 assists in a December 3rd, 1997 game against Duquesne. Through 20 games, he averaged 17.1 points, 6.7 assists, and 2.8 steals per game, and led the Gators to an 86-78 upset of the Kentucky Wildcats in Lexington, Kentucky. In February 1998, however, the University of Florida suspended him for the remainder of the season for marijuana use after 2 previous suspensions for the same infraction. Williams decided to make himself eligible for the NBA draft following his suspension by the University of Florida. He was the 7th overall selection in the 1998 NBA draft by the Sacramento Kings. The 1999-98 NBA lockout was the 3rd lockout of 4 in the history of the National Basketball Association. It lasted from July 1st, 1998 to January 20th, 1999, and forced the 1998-99 regular season to be shortened to 10 games per team, and that season's All-Star game to be canceled. NBA owners reopened the league's collective bargaining agreements in March 1998 seeking changes to the league's salary cap system and a ceiling on individual player salaries. The National Basketball Players Association opposed the owners' plans and wanted raises for players who earned the league's minimum salary. After the two sides failed to reach an agreement, the owners began the lockout. The dispute received a tepid response from sports fans and provoked criticism from media members. It continued into January 1999, threatening the cancellation of the entire season. After division within the players' union, however, NBPA Executive Director Billy Hunter reached an agreement with NBA Commissioner David Stern on January 6 to end the work stoppage. Quickly ratified by the owners and players, the deal was signed later in January, ending the lockout after 204 days. The settlement provided for maximum salaries for players and a pay scale for first-year players. In the months after the lockout, television ratings and ticket sales declined during the 50-game season, and both remained below pre-lockout levels in subsequent seasons. In his rookie year, the Kings, with a roster that included newcomers Williams, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and Peja Stojakovic, turned into a playoff contender. That year, Williams' number 55 jersey was among the top 5 sellers of all NBA players. Williams averaged about 13 points per game, 6 assists, and 2 steals. This stat line earned him Rookie of the Year consideration, as he was second in votes to a very entertaining player as well, Vince Carter, and made him one of the players to watch for the future of the league. He made the All-Rookie First Team in 1998-99, and the list of names that were on that list were Vince Carter from the Toronto Raptors, Paul Pierce from Boston Celtics, Mike Bibby from Vancouver Grizzlies, and Matt Harpring from Orlando Magic. Some pretty impressive players to be with, as most of these players ended up being all-stars and some top of players of that generation. Jason Williams was definitely grabbing the attention with his instant leadership and command at the point guard position. Although young and flashy, Williams was a help leading the Kings to the playoffs. They took the 7th seed in a very tough Western Conference and ended up losing to the talented and veteran-savvy back-to-back NBA Finals runner-up in 5 games of the first round of the playoffs. Next season, Jason Williams played 81 games and had another exciting season of highlight plays and moves that will last in our minds for a lifetime. One specific moment was in the rookie-sophomore game where Jason Williams did an elbow pass in the game to Rafe LaFrentz, and it was on every highlight reel you could imagine. While the league was buzzing about white chocolate, the Kings bottomed out to finalize the playoffs as they took the 8th seed and had to go against what we know now as the Dynasty Laker team that won 3 championships in a row. The rivalry started here as the Kings took them to Game 5, but came up short again in the first round. In 2001, the Kings traded Williams and Nick Anderson to the Vancouver Grizzlies for Mike Bibby and Brent Price. The team relocated to Memphis, Tennessee several weeks after the trade. In 2002, Grizzlies general manager Jerry West hired Hubby Brown out of retirement to coach the team. The team improved by a franchise record 28 wins in Brown's first season. After Memphis was swept by the Phoenix Suns in the 2005 NBA playoffs, it was yet another first-round exit for a team led at the helm of Jason Williams. In the defense of Jason Williams, he was going up against the best record in the West and against the 2005 NBA's most valuable player, Steve Nash. So it's safe to say one lesson that was being taught to Jay Will was that it takes to win, as each of the teams in the playoffs had some heavy hitters or some MVPs at the time. Just to touch on the Grizzlies and why they relocated, Dick Versace, the Grizzlies' president of basketball operations, stated in the final Vancouver season that the company was losing US $40 million per season. These numbers were questioned by Richard Petty, CEO of the Raptors, as the Grizzlies had a salary cap of US $48 million. Retrospectively, Michael Heisley stated that he lost US $87 million on owning the Grizzlies, although that included a US $30 million relocation fee to the NBA. Versace stated that he felt that the team did not get sufficient support from the business community, Colin Jones, University of Victoria professor in sports economics, stated that it was difficult to attract corporate sponsors as long as the team was losing so many games. The Grizzlies' lack of good draft picks led the team failing to win, thus losing revenue. He also noted that the team never sought help in the general business community regarding management issues. On August 2, 2005, Williams and teammate James Posey were 2 of 13 players involved in the biggest trade in league history that saw them being dealt to the Miami Heat in exchange for shooting guard Eddie Jones. This would be the first time Jason Williams was at the Eastern Conference, and he was teaming up against who he once lost to in the playoffs, Shaquille O'Neal, and an upcoming talent for years to come, Dwayne Wade. Not to mention all the playoff experience veterans loaded up on this roster: Gary Payton, Alonzo Mourning, Antoine Walker. And the big turnaround during this season was when Stan Van Gundy stepped down as the coach and the all-time great Coach Pat Riley stepped in. Williams started at point guard for the Heat in the 2005-06 campaign. Injuries plagued the team as even Jay Will was affected, only playing a total of 59 games due to a knee injury, but scoring second only to Dwayne Wade in minutes per game. He was served as the third leading scorer for Miami, averaging 12.3 points a game, only trailed Wade with 4.9 assists per contest, and was one of the 3 players on the team with over 100 3-point baskets for the season. In the playoffs, his averages were lower than the regular season, but he scored in double figures 11 times in the postseason, including 21 points on 10 of 11 shooting in Game 6 of the Eastern Finals against the Detroit Pistons. Led by Dirk Nowitzki, the Dallas Mavericks took a surprising 2-0 lead right away against the Heat. Many people thought it was over, but each game the Heat found a way to win, winning 4 straight games to claim the title. Miami closed out Detroit in that game and would win the NBA championship over the Dallas Mavericks, giving Williams his first and only title. In the 2006-07 season, Williams was limited to 61 games, of which he started 55. He averaged 10.9 points per game and 5.3 assists, which did not meet his career averages of 11.7 and 6.5. His play dropped dramatically in the postseason, averaging 5.8 points per game and 3.5 assists per game. His struggles contributed to the Heat being swept by the Bulls in 4 games in the first round of the playoffs. In the 2007-08 season, Williams played 67 games while averaging 8.7 points and 4.6 assists per game. He shot 41.5% from the field, 86.3% from the free throw line, and 35.3% from beyond the three-point arc. In March, he had 34 points versus Orlando, connecting on 5 3-point baskets. He had 2 double-doubles, one against Phoenix and one against the Bucks. Both were 21-point, 10-assist performances. In the summer of 2008, Williams signed with the Los Angeles Clippers to a 1-year deal. However, on September 26, 2008, Williams announced his retirement from the NBA after 10 years due to persistent injuries. In February 2009, Williams announced that he would attempt a return to the NBA. On August 19, 2009, Williams signed with the Orlando Magic. The move reunited Williams with Stan Van Gundy, his former coach in Miami, who pushed the team to make the signing. Orlando was also located just south of Gainesville, where he had gone to college. Williams played in all 82 games for the Magic that year, including 18 starts when Jameer Nelson was injured. He also played in all 14 of their playoff games as the Magic advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they lost to the Boston Celtics in 6 games. He re-signed with the team on August 3, 2010. On September 29, 2010, Williams had arthroscopic knee surgery, though he was still able to play the season opener on October 28. After missing time due to injury, Williams was unable to crack the Magic's rotation behind Nelson and new acquisitions Chris Duhon and Gilbert Arenas. He was granted his release from the team on January 26, 2011. He signed a 2-year deal with the Memphis Grizzlies on February 7, 2011, returning to the team where he was their all-time assist leader, since surpassed by Mike Conley. The rest of the team was fully guaranteed with a player option for the 2nd year of the contract. On April 18, 2011, Williams officially announced his second retirement from the NBA. Jason Williams, aka White Chocolate, left a lasting impression on the league with his play and love for the game of basketball. And because of his will to win, he found himself on a team with many like-minded players who wanted one thing, and that was an NBA championship. J. Will had the fame of a superstar and had his opportunity to play with some of the best, and he set his pride and ego aside to accomplish success, and that he did, appearing in the playoffs 8 out of the 11 years he was a pro. He gave his all to the game, and the game returned the favor. Thank you, J. Will, for all the highlight plays and the excitement you brought to the league for so many years. This is Basketball U. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, follow all of our social medias right there in the description to keep yourself up to date, as this channel will have a lot of basketball, a lot of players, and a lot of training and more information on how to play the game of basketball. Remember, someone's always working. Are you?